Beastars is an anime adaptation of a 2016 manga by Paru Itagaki. It takes place in a modern school setting full of anthropomorphic animals, most notably two Legoshi and Haur, who meet at the end of episode 1 and slowly develop a romance from there. This all takes place after the murder of Tem, one of Legoshi's friends and a fellow student at their school Cherryton Academy. This murder creates a divide between the carnivores and the herbivores attending the school. Now this show looks absolutely insanely amazing, and that's because it is absolutely amazing from what I've seen. So for these first impressions videos, I only watched the first episode of a new series and let you know if it's worth checking out in hopefully under 10 minutes. There will probably never be a more resounding yes in this series than this one. Whatever you like, you should probably go watch this, but I'll stop saying it and tell you why. Let's get a big one out of the way immediately. How it looks. Holy fucking shit. This is one of the most beautifully animated shows ever. Now, sadly, this will not come across super well in my terrible quality screenshots, but it's dynamic and detailed to no end. Where traditional methods of anime can tend to have some stale static shots, there's nothing like that here at all with its 3D integration. Every character moves realistically and beautifully, and I really wish I could describe it with some kind of justice, but you really just have to see it. Every single face you see exudes pure emotion, whether it's fear, apathy, cruelty, anything, in a way that makes every individual feel unique and personal. Seriously, it's less intense without motion, and my resolution sucks, but look at this. It comes out well. It's stunning. This individualism is also greatly helped along by the anthropomorphic species. With so many options, it's open to have a character's looks reflecting their role or personality in a way you just don't get outside of this situation. Complementing this is A+ posing of the characters. Little touches that will mostly go unnoticed but aid the feelings invoked in each one. This is best seen from this screenshot here, where, without any context, you can probably read almost everything that's going on from the visuals alone. The only downfall I noticed was occasionally some noticeable frames where the 3D models were moving, where it was a little bit juddery, but this was well under a single minute of the 23-minute runtime. Besides that, every action is smooth, from simple gestures to large actions. It is seriously a treat for your eyeballs. Now, we took up a lot of time talking about how it looks, so we're going to go a little bit less on how it sounds, because I think one of the best things you can get out of this music is that it complements all of the visuals very well. If it's going for a more toned down, dramatic noir feel, the music slows down with it, gets a little more jazzy. If it's something more intense, the music picks up with it as well. And it's very adaptable. It can either stand out as the song playing at the very beginning does, and as a vocal song playing towards the beginning does, or it can flow and fit perfectly in with the visuals and reinforce everything they're getting through in that way. And I think that's one of the best things you can say for a soundtrack, is that it fits everything perfectly, and sometimes it matches so well that you won't even notice it. That seems counterintuitive, but I think it's a very good compliment for a very good soundtrack. That isn't to say you won't notice it though. It is very standout and very beautiful when it should and wants to be. A great positive in addition to the animation is small details. No surface is bland or empty when they shouldn't be. They're in front of a brick wall? Well, you can see every brick. None of that little bit of detail here and there thing. Establishing shot? Let's have someone walking across the skywalk that almost no one will see unless they're looking for it. But what if the characters are the visual focus? Well, let's tone it down a bit so they get the attention, less detailed backgrounds. It's masterful art direction that can make every single rewatch feel unique with a, hey, I never noticed that before. It's something I mega appreciate about this show. Another one of those people probably won't think about it, but it's really make or break details, is the camera work. Everything is super technical and sharp. Something I love in film that often doesn't make it into anime, or even most film, is long tracking shots. There's a couple beautiful ones here. I'm talking falling down the stairs full 180 turn to see the person who did it without a scene type shit. There's some serious rule of thirds going on too, which isn't a you must follow this all the time, but it directs your attention, and when your backgrounds look this good, it only makes everything that much better. That's not to say it sticks only to standard shots though, because it also takes some leap into adventurous uses of its medium. Not all of these worked super well, but some of them, like multiple split screen views and some great reflection shots, made me want to see even more of what they have to show and kept each viewing interesting. I'm adding a few notes later, and after I took a few more screenshots, we're gonna go over 10 minutes, but it's worth it to mention these last few things about the visuals. One thing I didn't call out is the use of color, which in the intro sequence involving the murder and the actual intro sequence, the first thing we see, there are some very good uses of color. This is both to draw your attention to the points that matter and just create a unique standout visual experience. The lighting is also very standout, and this includes the great use of shadows as well, both in the very dark intro sequence, and I think this screenshot shows some of the best aspects of the lighting because it just looks stunning, how it forms that kind of halo around the edges of the character there. And one last note about the visuals is actually from a specific scene where Louis is talking to Legoshi. This has some of the multiple split screens I was talking about, and I think it shows them off very well, as well as showing off some more of the camera work. Because you can see that in these screenshots, Louis is a lot closer up than Legoshi is. This, going back with his confident look as well, creates this feel that he is the one in control of the conversation, as he is. So some more excellent use of specific angles there as well. Jesus fuck, I should probably move on before I eat up the whole 10 minutes on visuals alone. Now, it develops its own unique and interesting mood through its own details and by playing to some of the classics. In a way, it's a bit film noir. It opens with a crime as the driving factor, we have a non-hero protagonist, narration from the leads that gets right to the point, and those classic high contrast and dramatic scenes. But then, all the characters are animals, and this is an anime, and they're in school, and there's some of the usual school anime tropes, like the over-the-top popular guy and extreme bully. But there's some overlap between the noir feel and the anime feel, mostly the quiet loner protagonist and romance, although I'm guessing this won't quite be a noir romance. Still, it takes two unlikely candidates and mixes them extremely well to create a super original mood, tone, and feel. It's a bit dark and mysterious while also being super vibrant and full of life. This all gets fed into by the beautiful animation and music that we've already gone over too. It's clearly somewhat of a dark world with a clear divide in the population between carnivore and herbivore, and there's characters who just accept that it's dark and that they're being used. And that's likely the strongest detail, the characters. Legoshi, the Grey Wolf, is good. I love that he isn't generic good guy. He defends a massive POS, lets himself be used by the same person, and at the end gives into his primal nature. But at his core, we see him to be gentle and caring, with simple sentences reinforcing this. After giving his late friend's love letter to its recipient, he flashes back to a moment with him, and with the words, "back to square one," lets us know that he's involved pretty personally in his friend's life and also wants to see him be happy. This is no tell-all show. Also, that presents some pretty well-paced storytelling, letting the details fall into place naturally rather than having someone exposit them all to us. Something we should all appreciate, because anime tends to have that problem a decent amount, and it's just not here. So Legoshi is pretty good even in just one episode, but I really want to talk about Haru, the dwarf rabbit. Her character takes me back to some good high school times, because there's some serious Margot Roth Spiegelman vibes here. Now, Margot is a love interest from the book Paper Towns, where the lead falls in love with the idea of her that he has, rather than who she actually is. One of Haru's narrations reveals that men often try to covet her for what they believe her to be, or what they want her to be, rather than what she actually is. She's a small rabbit, so they all want to protect her and probably, in a sense, own her. She detests this, stating how she's always just been a plaything. This pulls dual utility, doing what it states while also putting to rest the idea of any typical anime inexperienced scenes. And we all know that not every experience is good. With this setup, it can be hinted that she has even more reason to be melancholy in a way that avoids anything distasteful. Her dialogue is stellar for great personality, as she breaks the bully trope by confidently standing up to her abusers and feeding back into Last Point by even saying, "Shouldn't you be focused on getting back with your boyfriend?" and then saying that she didn't kiss him, but he kissed her. And throwing some even deeper disses in there. She also harshly states her dislike for those who won her, but she's never been the focus and accepts it with a deep dose of depression. This is another note beautifully helped along by the visuals, as she is literally not the focus of her shots when interacting with others. She is for a moment when standing up for herself, and then literally gets thrown back out of the focus. I love that detail so much. And she has to live with some of her bullies too. Now, do we know this because she says it? No, it's because they fucking throw her mattress out of the goddamn window at her. And her other roommate just lets them do it, and only pays attention to Haru when she offers help on her crossword, where Haru tells her that the answer is ostracized. The raw feel and development is off the charts here. They're gonna have to make new charts because of this. And the best part, there's narration that tells us what to feel, but only after we've already seen it. Most shows would just narrate to you what they want you to feel without backing it up. This one lays the groundwork for it and then reinforces it through narration how it should be done. Every single detail during her sections is feeding back into the somewhat depressing mood that follows her. It's masterful. And then the episode ends with the possibility of her death as Legoshi falls to his instincts and captures her. What a fucking way to meet. And I didn't even talk about the killer intro scene, but I'll leave that as a nice hook for you. So let's summarize. Stunning visuals with a super strong audio backing, a dark tone mixed with a vibrant and unique idea that surrounds two very deep and well-developed characters, done in only one episode. I think it's safe to say this is extremely worth the watch. So go watch it. Whatever you like, it doesn't matter. You will enjoy this. I mean now. Put down Animal Crossing and go watch these animals.